if we reverse that and say there's a guy in with a bunch of females and the guy messes up, and then we're told, well, you messed up, don't do it again. Fair enough. And then someone kindly, with very good, kind intentions, says, well, yeah, but he does really well, and he's only learning. That you could imagine that could come across as condescending or patronising. Oh, well, it's only because he's a young man or whatever. So I think we have to try and navigate this change that women, in their quest, the perfectly understandable quest to be equal with men, which has largely, or in many ways, been achieved, in some ways not.
Yeah.
I think we just have to keep that kind of stuff in mind, that people, women, ordinary things during the day, if you hold a door open or invite someone to go through first, they might think, well, hang on a minute, I'm just the same as you. Please don't treat me like that. Can you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's a difficult path sometimes to navigate. It really is.
Well, I don't. Nah, nah. All right. So when the women's case, in the woman's case, in the scenario that you just said about, yeah, it's understandable. But I don't think a man would react. I don't think a man would feel it would feel like he was
Patronized, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because men don't think that way. You're in the midst of an all women team.
Yeah.
And one woman sticks out for you, stands up for you, or whatever, defends you. I think you'd be grateful, actually. Would you not?
I think it depends on the situation. Yeah, I could never imagine myself
Right.
doing anything other than expressing my gratitude and thanks for someone standing up for me.
Yeah,
Because the
absolutely.
way I see it as well, Cuz,
Yeah.
it's kind of a similar thing. Something I've always been aware of. I mean, when I worked for a living, I used to sort of chair meetings of people and so on,
Right.
and I was always aware sometimes somebody would say something and then somebody would react, and somebody would get really embarrassed. Now, I think maybe, I don't know, from my childhood, I think sometimes I probably still am, I can be very easily embarrassed. But over the years, you fake it till you make it. And I think there's a lot in that.
Yeah.
But for me, if you suddenly find yourself the center of attention in a meeting or if you're having dinner with friends or any
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
and something causes you to get embarrassed,
Yeah.
it is not a nice feeling. And so at those meetings occasionally, if ever that happened, I would try to take the heat away. Or occasionally, if I've been out to dinner and someone says something they shouldn't or whatever and embarrasses someone else, I don't like to see someone sort of sitting there. Oh, what do I say next? Because everyone's looking at me, and it does happen sometimes. So,
Yeah.
for my part, I always step in and just distract as best I can to get that heat off of that person. I'm not saying that's always the right thing to do. Again,
Yeah.
I would run the risk. I think I've never known someone react negatively to me on that, but I do run the risk if I ever do that of someone saying, "Hang on a minute, I can look after myself," because you're assuming I can't. So I think it's a difficult thing, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't like to see anybody uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
clearly in the film F1, that girl was uncomfortable, and Sonny, alias AKA Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
instinctively wanted to help, and I can't think that was really the wrong thing to do. Just something
Well,
else, probably to
yeah. Go on.
conclude on this.
Yeah.
We talked about crime before, and again, we're talking about before, and again, we're talking about men and women, and I
Yeah.
might just say we haven't really touched on the XY chromosome and the XX chromosome. Let me just say that the X and Y chromosomes are each one of the 23 chromosomes humans have. We all have
Right.
23. And the XY ones are the sex determining chromosomes.
Right.
180 million, 190 million years ago, when these things had evolved into early humans,
Right.
they the female X chromosome had between 900 and 1400 genes on it, right? The Y chromosome, which is a male sex chromosome, had exactly the same, 900 to 1400, 180 million years ago.
Yeah.
Now, the X chromosome, the women's chromosome, has 900 to 1400 genes on it. It
Mhm.
might worry you to know that 97% of our ancestral genes have been
Yeah.
exhausted. There's 3% left, and it's diminishing. And in recent years, people have said, are men going to disappear? I mean, this has been a legitimate question. And rather learned people, more learned than us, have said, no, don't worry. It is diminishing, but there's another 6 or 7 million years to go. So it's not an urgent problem. But they did say that in some mammals where this has already happened and the Y chromosome has gone,
Yeah.
another sex determining chromosome has developed. It mutated to replace it. So
Oh,
that's probably what will happen with our one. But in one sense, we're at risk of disappearing altogether. So stick that in your
wow.
pipe and smoke it, really. So,
Wow.
yeah.
This.
So
Yeah.
that's the XY chromosome.
This is interesting. So where
Well, yeah. Could there
we're
be
gradually
a civilization without men?
we're,
You
we're
never know.
gradually we're gradually becoming extinct.
We're on the way out, cuz.
I dare,
But
I dare
there,
to think,
I rest my case.
I dare to think how the world would look like with women.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose with AI and everything, they would find a way of replacing us, wouldn't they? They
Well,
would.
well, I think we're being replaced already.
True.
all they need, all they need to do is just store a few spermatozoa in the freezer.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
freeze it. Yeah, just freeze it up there. Yeah, that's
But
it.
that's what they will end up doing, isn't it? Really, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So we
So
are
that's the men, that's the male, and
right.
next week we're going to look at the female characteristics and traits. So we'll see how we get on with that.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
We'll tread carefully. With our deep voices.
every time, every time somebody asks me to comment on anything about women, I'm really, really careful. I'm thinking it twice.
Yeah, it's eggshells, isn't it? Sometimes. So we'll tread carefully next week,
Please,
but
please,
it'll be an interesting chat. I hope.
it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, and it doesn't matter if the members of your immediate family, you still need to tread carefully, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, yeah. So this is all we have time for on the alien spaceship. We've discussed some quite interesting subjects. I mean, you've done a very really good job. You should be a professor at the university. Just take it students. Anyway, so join us again when we discuss the women's side of it. I shan't be saying very much. I would allow.
I'll put my foot in it for you. Yeah.
So I've been Emmy Hikins, and you've been watching the Alien Spaceship. So it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Good. Right.